All right. I think we're good. Fitzy.
I think I'm good.
Yeah. So sorry we're a little late this morning. Fitzy literally just got out. Thanks a lot, buddy. Hey, you know what? It's National Organize Your Home Office Day today. Fitzy, do you have a home office?
I do have a home office. I got some work to do.
Well, today you certainly do. Now, if you would like a bigger home office, you'll probably need a new home. See where I'm going with this, Fitzy? And we would recommend our friends from the Wisconsin Lakes team. Anyone can say they are an agent, but not everyone treats their clients as they would like to be treated. And that's what Aaron and Katie do. So give them a call today or visit them at their website at lakesteamwi.com, lakesteamwi.com. It's also International Women's Day today. Where would we be without the women in our lives? Seriously. Oh, and this is a terrible segue here. And did you know our friends at Industrial Safety have incorporated kitchen suppression system maintenance? No, that's horrible. Kitchen suppression system maintenance, inspection, and installs into their everyday service menu. There's a great need in Northwest Wisconsin for this service, as any restaurant or business that has a kitchen suppression system is required to have it inspected every 6 months. Find out more at industrialsafetystore.com. It's also National Proofreading Day. What's that?
That was a bad segue.
That was a horrible segue.
Industrial safety is run by a bunch of women. That would have been a better segue.
It would have been anything better than that. It's also National Proofreading Day, which that should be every day here at Dread and Wire. It says we all make typos, grammar mistakes, and spelling errors when we write, especially if we are moving too fast. National Proofreading Day is an opportunity to slow down, proofread our work, and then proofread it again. Whatever. Good morning, everybody. It's Positive Tuesday and Random Topic Day today, March 8th, 2022. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you're watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With nearly 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business has provided quality work in roofing, garages, siding, window installations, kitchen and bathroom remodeling, vinyl and hardwood flooring, and they can even build your house or your business from the ground uppity up. Like Fitzy and I, Professional Exteriors and Interiors believes that it's the little things that make a big difference. So give them a call today. The number is right on your screen there. Fitzy, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing pretty well. Oh, right. So real quick, if anyone's noticing like this thing that shows up, we've talked before about we've had some like issues, audio or video. I've gone through like 7 different tests, last 7 shows, and now I've reconnected my camera, updated the software for our Black Magic device. So hopefully this works, and if not, then I don't know what to do. Anyway, so obviously it's Random Topic Day today. Anyone has a topic or a question for us, just put that in the comments, and I don't know, we'll share our views on those things, because when Fitzy and I share our views and opinions, it never comes back to bite us. So
yeah, never.
Never. So obviously first,
I asked something really hard.
First, positive things that are going on in your life. I'm assuming I know what we're going to be talking about first.
I've got some. But yeah,
what do you have?
How about you? Well, you go first.
I got nothing. Oh, well, my daughter's birthday, my oldest daughter's birthday, Grace, her birthday was yesterday. She was 23. I thought of you, because again, that's all I think about is Chris Fitzgerald. I got an impact driver. Remember your positive impact driver?
Yeah.
It came with this, so I needed a new drill, so I got a new DeWalt drill, and then it just came with an impact driver. I don't know what it does. So if anyone can explain to me the difference between just a regular drill and an impact driver, have you figured it out yet?
No, I haven't used either of them.
No. Yeah, that's
maybe
it.
It's National Home Office Day. Maybe I'll remodel this afternoon. I got a meeting at the library. I can't. So.
All right. So obviously, come on. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. So, yeah.
So for people who don't know, which would be they'd be left in the dark, I guess, or I don't know, living under a rock, I suppose. What happened this weekend?
The Rice Lake Warrior hockey team won the Division II state championship. So That was pretty awesome. It was pretty special and still kind of unbelievable. Still riding high off of it. And the kids just played unbelievable. It was just an awesome weekend. You win on Thursday, which was a big win. And then you wait till Saturday morning. And then Saturday morning, we played the defending two-time state champs, Fond du Lac Springs. Um, and they're a private school, and obviously in Fond du Lac, they have about 350 kids in it. They have a pretty phenomenal hockey team, and our Warriors took it to them. We probably had the play of the tournament with a fake Michigan, which is a wrap around the net goal by Cole Fensky from Adam Tim. It was just, the play of the tournament. Jace, my son, had an unbelievable tournament, 2 goals, 5 assists. He's just, yeah, it was just a ride. It was just unbelievable. The community support, even today yet, is, I just drove by Marketplace on the way here from the chamber meeting, and that's all everybody's talking about is the Warrior win. First one
That's
in
awesome.
school history. First win in the Rice Lake School District history. Been 42 years since the hockey team even been there, and 42 years ago in 1980 they lost. So yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty special when you think about that, and you haven't absorbed all of those in. You're just happy for the kids. They worked really hard, and just had a great time doing it. And uh, Josh Engel, our head coach, got coach of the year. I mean, it was just,
Oy.
you
All
we've
around
got a lot
great.
of,
So I have a quick
yeah.
follow up to that. But first, Taylor had put up, good morning. Great to meet your parents yesterday, and very nice people. So yeah, tell me more about that. What is that? Tuesday? When I don't know where you met them, but so I was watching the game on Saturday.
Mhm.
This is the first time I actually have watched a Rice Lake Warriors hockey game, but because it was the state champs, and honestly because of you, and I wanted to make sure I knew what was going on in there. And it was 4-2, and there was like a minute and a half, 2.5 minutes left or something. So I had it on here in the house, and my daughter Rally had said, "So I mean, are they going to win?" I'm like, "The other team would have to score 2 goals in just over like 2 minutes. The odds
Yeah.
are slim." No, Rice Lake won, and then all of a sudden the other team scored.
Yep.
And Riley's like, didn't you just say? I'm like, shh, don't jinx it. And maybe I jinxed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was awesome. And I saw that your son had, he scored a goal, right? That was
Mhm.
the second goal of the game. So
Yep.
congratulations to him, to the Rice Lake Warriors. Also, the Spooner Area Youth Hockey Association, the Spooner Squirts, they are state champs. And then I look over social media or on Facebook, and I see a whole bunch of really, really great things of people either winning things or getting close. Just saying, this is a really good time for high school.
Right. Yeah.
I
I
mean, all the
mean, it was
sports
high
in high
school
school. There's a lot of
youth
great stories
school.
out there.
Yeah, and it's community driven, and I got interviewed on the radio station with Dave Tyndall. Obviously, I talk on the radio and do a lot of things with him, and I mean it's just the community support and the amount of people that drove down, even with the bad weather on Saturday morning. People drove down. Some people came early because they didn't want to miss the game, so they drove down Friday night. Our hotel was packed with not just families. It wasn't just, families of the kids that were playing. It was community members and people that had no connection except their kid went to the high school or they used to go to the high school. I mean, it's just special when it comes to that. Youth sports has been the same way when it comes to that. I know the Barron youth hockey team did pretty good, won something this weekend. I mean, it's all about community, and it just makes it even more special when these kids see the signs at Marketplace or wherever it is saying,
Yeah.
congratulations Warriors and way to go. And there was businesses, Dan Organ from Drake Tax, donated some money so the kids could have a meal at a restaurant, the night before they left. And it was just, special. It was just really cool that this community comes out like that and supports a bunch of high school kids that are playing a sport that they love.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just awesome.
Yeah, and that's one wonderful thing, or one of the many wonderful things about these rural areas. I guess I can't speak for any other rural area other than Northwest Wisconsin in our area, but to see families and businesses support, because how can you not get behind that? Well,
Mhm.
shoot, we've Drydenware, we have our logo on the Spooner Area Youth Hockey Association, Drydenware, right on the front of their jerseys to help pay for it, and we still, I don't even want to tell you how much we spend every year just to have that on, but it's like totally easy for us to do that because man, what? These are kids.
Yeah.
And I think every study has shown, or essentially just about every study, that kids that are involved in sports do better in school. And I don't know about life. I don't think there's a study about how well you do in life, but that their grades go up, they make better choices, etc. That stuff's so important, man. And I love that our areas support this. So
Yeah, and it's basically anything after school. I mean, you talk about band, choir, boys and girls club. I don't care
good
what you're
point.
involved in. It's that
Yep.
after
Thanks for
school
showing me
time.
up. Yep.
Yep, yep.
Hmm.
I mean, it's just it's in all of our youth sports are none of our youth sports coaches get paid. So all these coaches, I mean, our high school
I'm sorry.
coaches
Whoa,
obviously get paid.
wait. What?
Youth coaches don't get paid to coach.
I didn't know that
I've,
actually. I've never done
oh
it.
yeah, I've coached for years. You don't get paid. You don't get paid at all. Normally, you're coaching your kids' team, or I've coached both my sons and daughters, my sons and daughters' team, and you don't get paid to do that. Youth coaches don't get
That's
paid.
crazy.
High school coaches get paid, but I know there's 3 coaches on the Rice Lake Warriors staff that did it voluntarily. Came to practice, got volunteer
What?
coached. Yeah, the high school only pays for so many coaches. Football's the same way. A lot of
I
these
didn't know
people
that.
get paid. I think a high school coach, and don't quote me, it's like two to $3,000 a year to coach, and that's every day after school, weekends, games. I mean, it's not like it's big money at all for these high school coaches. So, and
Mm.
these coaches pour their life into it. I mean, Dan Hill, the football coach in Rice Lake, Josh Engel, and the 2 coaches that Jason's had in high school. I mean, they heart and soul into these kids and these games, and it's just special. But youth coaches, man, we can't do it without youth coaches and youth
Apparently
volunteers,
not.
and so I mean, it's all a big. It all comes together as part of this, and I think that's why so many people enjoy it. So these youth coaches have coached these kids for years, and they work their way up, and now they're high school state champions. I mean, it's pretty. There's only 2 of them, and both of them were from the Big Rivers. I mean, Hudson won the Division One, and Rice Lake won Division Two.
Mm.
We beat out every other school in the state of
That's
Wisconsin in hockey.
crazy. That's
It's
nuts.
just kind of neat.
Yeah. There was a excuse me. There's a question there from. I don't know if there's a question. I was trying to skim through some of it, but also trying to listen to what you were saying. Do you see a question in there that?
Yep.
Um,
About power outages,
yeah. So I don't know anything about that.
well, all lines should be buried. It will eliminate weather disruptions. I mean, only problem is initial cost. Yeah, I mean,
I
well, I
support the
don't think they
current thing.
refuse
By
to
the way,
do
I
it.
love that. I support the current thing. That's awesome.
That is awesome. So, I mean, I think the question is, and that's not a decision you and I get to make, and we can give our opinion too. And I think in just working and talking with Barron Electric, I think they do try to bury them whenever they can, but I don't think that they, intentionally say, you know what, we could bury it or we cannot. Yeah, I think they'd love to go bury every wire so they don't have them during storms, but I think the cost is just too dramatic.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, if you want to raise your electric bill, I think they'll bury every wire tomorrow. But, I
Right.
mean, I
It's
don't
like
think that
my
we
yeah.
are going to agree to pay that.
Yeah, that's like my coder. When I ask to do something, of course, it's $150 an hour. So his answer is always, listen. So I ask him like, hey, can we do this one thing? And he's like, there's nothing we can't do. It's just how long is it going to take. Therefore, how much money is it going to cost. There's a question from Macker Patrick. That dude's awesome. Can you put fentanyl amounts in perspective to other drugs as far as lethality?
Yep.
I can answer that. I think it's for you though.
No, you can. Why don't you answer and I'll tell you if you're right or wrong.
Sure. Fentanyl amounts in perspective to other drug. Fentanyl is worse. How about that? Done.
I didn't even get a big topic.
Could you expand on that? Elaborate a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
No, so
You're
here's the
exactly
thing.
right.
My understanding, I'm going to put that back up. My understanding, and this isn't specifically to the question, but that it's the fentanyl is in and of itself bad in a lot of ways. But it's also that it gets, I don't know, I don't know much about drugs. I'll have to call my local drug dealer and find out more. Is that it gets into all the other drugs.
So I'll use an example out of us. Okay, you and I both go smoke meth today. We can smoke the exact same amount of meth.
Mm,
Okay, neither of us are going to die today. Okay,
nice.
that's the problem with methamphetamine. Methamphetamine doesn't kill you on the spot, but if your meth is regular meth and my meth has fentanyl in it, and I smoke too much of that, I can die even though I'm only a mile and a half from the Barron Hospital. before the Barron ambulance gets here, I probably will be dead. That's the difference between fentanyl and mixing it with other things. And so
Hmm.
fentanyl will kill you instantly,
Hmm.
and can kill you instantly, basically any amounts. Plus, if we were to touch meth, if we had meth on the desk in front of us and we touched it, put it on our hands, and you know, it would, does it absorb in your skin to some degree? Yes. If we had fentanyl in that and we touched it, it would absorb and could kill us the exact same ways. We don't even have to smoke fentanyl. It can be airborne. It can cause your airway to get blocked. I mean, fentanyl is the number one bad thing. We don't want to touch it. We don't want to have it, and we have it in Barron County. We have it in
Hmm.
every county. We're starting to see a little bit more of it. Overdoses. The overdoses we've had in Barron County have involved fentanyl. Haven't just been meth or marijuana, or but they're always looking for the next high, chasing the dragon. There's a lot of books on it, on this, and that's where the drug issue happens. I mean, that's what we can't tell our kids. We can't tell the adults enough. Don't do it, because you're always going to be, your first high is your best high. You're never going to get that high again, and you're just going to be chasing it. So then we got
Hmm.
to add fentanyl to make it stronger, which causes the problem. So fentanyl is, from the Hayward north or Hayward kind of over, you see a little bit more fentanyl. The Spooner, Barron area, we see a little less fentanyl. Then you got to get to Eau Claire, and then I think it's about 50-50. That
Hmm.
heroin, fentanyl, meth thing, and then you get over to Hudson, you see a little bit more fentanyl, and then obviously you get down to Madison, you see heroin, fentanyl, all that stuff. So,
Sure. So it's kind of like alcohol. Like I can have a light beer, um, and maybe a glass of champagne every once in a while or whatever. But it's the skipping, skipping, skipping. Next thing you know, you're up to a martini. Which, by the way, I can't even say one of those. I've had one sip out of one of those, and I dumped it out in a plant that was at the house that I was at when they weren't looking, because that was the most disgusting thing I've ever had in my life. It's just alcohol with alcohol. It's who drinks this stuff? It's terrible. Hey, speaking, so Matt Kirkpatrick, he used to have Kirkpatrick Law Offices, and now I believe he's the ADA and ADA in Eau Claire. And so I wrote down some random topics because it's random topics day to day.
you're
So
right.
here's a nice little segue here. ADA, Washburn County's ADA. So we have one full time district attorney, of course, full time, Aaron Markout, and we have one full time ADA. That's Sheila Young. Her last day is this Friday. She's heading to Chippewa Falls to be the ADA. So circling back to the fentanyl thing, we've talked before
We're
about
losing
this.
we're
What?
losing our ADAs too. One has been deployed,
Oh,
and one is moving on to a different county also. So we're short right now too in Barron County, which is a concern because there's also a shortage of public defenders. So we're going to
yeah.
see, you could
Yeesh.
start to see a backlog. We have to be very, very careful on this topic because we can start to see a backlog of cases, and we don't want to see that.
Yeah.
You always have a small backlog of cases, no matter what county you're in. But we have to be very careful with that because we could see, especially if a case goes to trial. Right now, we're down. We went from 4 to 2. So the state, you know, Attorney General's office is looking at a special prosecutor for Barron County because we're down from 4 to 2.
Jeez.
2 to 1 isn't, that's still a 50% cut in your thing. And so we took a big cut right now, going from 4 to 2 with our volume. So we have to be very careful. As right now, you're probably okay because I think this is the slower time of year, if you want to say that. But it's about to pick up. When spring happens and summer
Yeah.
happens, it picks up naturally because there's
We
more
should
people
get
around.
either like Aaron Marco in Washburn or Brian Wright and Barron to come on and kind of talk about it a little bit, because there
Mhm.
is that ADA. I know a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, there was that big push, and now there's a lot more positions available for ADAs.
Right.
But they
And
still
it's
do not
about,
get paid enough at all. They
right.
just don't. I mean, I suppose nobody really gets paid enough. I mean,
Right.
you could make that argument, but when ADAs are making, I don't know, 50 grand a year or around there, depending, that sounds like a lot. But for a lawyer, do you have any idea? Like, I don't. But this
Right.
isn't just 4 year of schooling. This is also like another 3 years, and those are stupid expensive.
Right.
I don't know. I think we're running into an issue, and I think we're going to see this going forward, where we just don't have enough qualified people who are even applying for these jobs. Because I wouldn't. I mean, what with that law degree to make 50 grand?
Or you can go to private business and make $150 an hour or whatever they
Right.
make. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
I
Hey,
don't know, but there's more
Yeah.
money obviously in private business than there is in public service. Now
Yeah.
we get the obviously public service is what I want to do, and I enjoy what I'm doing, and I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing. You know the do I think I deserve more money? Like you said, we all do,
Yeah.
but we in public service, it's just not the name of the game, so you don't
Yeah.
get it. You get other joys in life, in my opinion, with it, but that's just how it is. And yeah,
Yeah.
but I think it's an issue that we need to be aware of, especially in our smaller counties. And I think, Brian and Aaron, both our DAs, are very concerned about that. I think as we find it, and finding lawyers that want to come to the north, it's
That's
probably the
another
same
right.
with teachers and our superintendents, and finding
And
qualified
police.
teachers
And police,
and,
right?
and police to some degree. That's almost
Yeah.
better. We're almost better to come here to be a police. I've said it again.
Oh,
I said it. This is the best place to be a cop because
yeah.
we have so much support in our community. Um, and so I think this is a good place to be a cop rather than a big city. But maybe a teacher, there's not the same opportunities, coaching opportunities, or whatever it is. And so I think, yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's a topic we need to. I'm glad you brought it up, and I'm glad I remembered that our ADAs have left, and one will be back after his deployment, but it could be a 9-month deployment,
Sure.
is what we've been told. So, we wish him a safe return and all of our troops
Yeah.
and things like that. But what we're seeing a lot of flip flops, and teachers do that. Small school districts to big school districts. I'm sure Shell Lake and Spooner go through it when Rice Lake hires, and Barron, then somebody hires, and it's this. Teachers and superintendents go through that every June,
Yeah.
July, and August.
Yeah, so I just wrote down, I'll contact both of them and see if either one wants to come on for a future show. And by the way, just for everyone that is watching, please put in a topic of any topic that you want or a question. Let us know. We'll be happy to talk about it. It's Random Topic Day. I want to quickly circle back about fentanyl. You had said before that meth, we had talked about before about coming from the southern border. Nobody makes it. How about fentanyl? Where does that come from? Like, I don't even know what it is. I mean,
Yeah,
we can get into that more at length later because, again, we want this more random stuff and maybe not quite as long on each topic. But do you make fentanyl, and does that come from our area? Do you just go to the store, buy stuff, mix it together? Or no, this is another comes from the southern border thing?
uh, I'm going to say southern border. I've never heard of anybody making it. I heard, it's the same as heroin. It's the same as
Oh,
meth. It's the same as fentanyl. All coming from our southern borders. Um, I don't know the ingredients of that. I don't know if you can make fentanyl. I highly
I
doubt
don't
it.
know.
So I'm going to go with the southern border too, because that's where all of our drug problems come from, is the southern border.
All right. Well, I would Google it, but then I don't want, like, DCI getting pinged that I'm Googling how
Oh,
to
come
make
on. It's not that.
fentanyl.
We got other things to do than worry about people
All right, so I
Googling.
wrote down another random thing here. Jim LeDuc, Jim LeDuc, his
Yep.
last day, he was the Washburn County Director of Health and Human Services. His last day was last Friday, so, congratulations to him, wherever he's heading to next. Do,
Do you know
oh,
where
there
he's
we
going
go.
next? Do you
What's
know
that?
something we don't? Are you going to give breaking
Well, I don't
news?
know if that's, I love
He
that
just
dude. He's a weird dude. He's not working somewhere right now.
okay.
He wants to take some time off. Now, what he's doing, yeah, you'll have to ask him. He's going to take some quality personal time and, like, living in the woods or something. It's really bizarre. I love it.
Well, I
Oh,
want
there
to
we go.
get
Now that's a great question.
it's original. There you
Loose
go.
leaf all the way,
Yeah.
because you have to have loose leaves so then you can put it, on a clipboard. That's the way to go.
You feel like
Because
a character of a TV show?
well,
Get the clipboard.
no, I just don't like with the rings.
Right.
And then all the stuff when you rip a paper out and what do you do? No, absolutely. That's a fantastic question, Kevin. That's great. Do you, I don't know. I don't really know what fentanyl is. I just know it's bad.
A prescription for it? No. I mean, no. It's illegal to possess. There is a drug that people use to get off of methamphetamine, methadone. That is a prescription, I believe. Well, you're asking some pretty tough questions, Jody. Um, no, you don't need a prescription. You need a prescription for fentanyl. Well, maybe you do need one. You need a prescription for fentanyl.
Oh,
Yes. Oh, there. She answered the question. I thought she was
well,
asking it. I don't know.
oh, I'm sorry. I did too, actually. You need a prescription. So I just
Yeah.
actually Googled what is fentanyl. Google the help. Thank you, Al Gore and the internet. Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid that is
Yep.
similar to morphine, but 50 to 100 times more potent. It is
Right.
a prescription drug that is also made and used illegally.
Oh, there you go.
Like morphine, it is medicine that is typically used to treat patients with severe pain, especially after surgery.
That makes sense. I guess I've kind of heard of it, but
Uh,
in the form that they're giving, obviously it's very dangerous.
right.
That's a controlled substance. Obviously, we want to do that. Anything your doctor prescribes to you is for you only. Doesn't just because I have it, it might be because I have a bad heart or I do this and
Sure.
size, weight, height, everything, sexes goes into that, male versus female, everything like that. So your prescriptions are your own prescriptions. You can't trade them, sell them, do all that stuff.
There was a. I think I can announce it. I don't know if. Oh, hold on. Where's the? I don't know if Dave is on this morning. Maybe he can give more insight. But I'm looking at the agendas and all this stuff and this personnel committee. There's a really cool story, and I wish I had time to actually write a story about this. So I'll bring it up here. I didn't know this was a thing that if you work in Washburn County or you're an employee, and I'm assuming all counties, that you can donate your time, like your I don't know, personal time off time or PTO or sick days, vacation. Maybe it's all under one umbrella. But you can do that, and I've recently found that out because I saw there was an agenda item for personnel last week, and of course Dave Wilson is on that committee, or he's the head of the committee or something. So I asked him about it, and he said, "Yeah." So Tucker McCumber, you're familiar with that situation. He has cancer, etc. Yeah, everybody knows Tucker. The dude's legit.
Yep.
And there were county employees that they can just donate. Like, I got 30 hours of PTO or time off or whatever. They can donate that to another employee. I didn't know that was a thing. And there were so many requests for this that the committee had to actually go and, like, okay, we need to look at this a little bit more. So I think before it was like up to 40 hours. But the thing was, if you only had 40, they didn't want everybody giving it away. And some people have like 300, I guess. It's just nuts. So they've now changed it in personnel, and I'm assuming it'll get, I think Dave called it ratified, whatever that means. It'll get approved in the county board at their next meeting. But that means that people can give up to half of their time. So if you have 300, there's people that can just donate 150 hours to somebody else. So that person gets paid when they're not at work. That is ridiculously awesome.
Right.
How cool of a story is that?
I think it's very cool, and we've done that here for employees. I know our employees have done it for other employees, and but you have to cap it. You have to have some reason because you never know what's going to happen to you. So you always want to take time and think about that. So,
There's right there.
Yep.
Yeah, personnel past that, they can donate up to 50% PTO. That's what I thought. Their bank. Nice. Do you have a PTO? Does that work for sheriffs or no? No, probably not.
Yeah. It doesn't work for sheriffs because we don't get time. I don't get vacation, sick, anything like that.
Every day is vacation for you.
Every day is just a dream vacation. So,
ran across an article. Intruder was shot and died, but not.
But not the have to go back.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
He's wondering if the detached garage falls under the castle doctrine. I assume that's the question. I don't know the answer to that. I would say no, it does not fall under the castle doctrine unless you're in there in fear for your life. So I don't think you can just shoot somebody because they broke into your detached garage and you happen to be in there.
Oh, I get it now.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's what this question is. Falls under the castle doctrine.
Okay.
And so I don't think a detached garage falls under the castle doctrine, but I'm not a legal expert, so don't say you got it off the Ben Fitzy show.
That's what most people do. Yeah, don't ever no. This is just purely entertainment.
Yeah, we may have to put a disclaimer at the end of the show. So no, it's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but and obviously the castle doctrine is very, complicated in itself. And I think if someone breaks in your front door and you're sitting in your living room and you fear for your life and you shoot them, I think you're probably covered. But again, there's a lot of circumstances that go into it. Time of day, who else is in the house? Did you have an exit behind you? Did they have a gun? Did they say they were going to shoot you? A thousand things can go into
Right.
that.
Right.
That both sides are going to play out when we have it, and that's where you have a trial. And yeah, I don't know that it will cover you, but it may and it may not. So
Yeah, I don't even know who you call. Just
you
who do
call
you
your own
call for
lawyer.
that?
You better
I
get a good
guess.
lawyer. Well, if you shoot somebody, you're going to have a good lawyer. Period.
So if anybody has a question or just even a random topic, let us know. Because I only have a couple left. I was hoping we were going to have more, so I didn't write a whole bunch down. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Today could be a big day, right? This is before the franchise tag for Devontae Adams. Do you think he's going to stay in Green Bay, or do you think he's going to be gone? Play for any other team?
I think we sat here a year ago, and I said he wasn't going to play for him.
Me too.
In 2021. So
Yeah,
I think
you and I were both wrong. Yeah,
Hey,
Mike Schaefer and Dave Wilson both said that he was going to stay, and we said no, he's not, and then he did. So this time I'm going to go that he's going to stay in Green Bay. So,
pass next topic. um, Aaron Rodgers goes. I don't think he stays. I don't know. I'm just saying that maybe this. I don't know.
All right. Polk County had a case of Castle Doctrine at Interstate Park a few years back. Yep, so I didn't even know that was a thing, Castle Doctrine. Never even heard of it.
Yeah, that's the protect your own property kind of thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that like Florida's stand your ground thing or no?
I would say probably the same thing. Yeah.
All right. No, there wasn't a bet on that, but we totally will. Come up with something, Dave, and that's what we'll bet.
Yeah.
Gas prices. Yeah, gas prices
what about
are.
Coach K? What do you think about him losing this last game? I think that sucks.
Honestly, I didn't really care if he was. I actually picked North Carolina to win that game, even though there were the underdogs there. But there's a long story behind that. But I really didn't care who was going to win it. I was just watching because it's one of those things I just want to be a part of. I want to. In the sports world, that's a huge moment. And I thought afterwards that speech he gave or what he had talked was great. It's kind of weird to do it when he's still going into the tournament. Like he's not finished yet. So it just seemed a little bit weird. Yeah. But it was a bummer that he lost. What about you? What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a bummer he lost too, but I just love that picture that he's standing at center court with all of those trophies around him. And then the amount of players that were there that he put in the NBA and he put in, I mean, it's just incredible. He's just an incredible guy. I've been a Duke fan my whole life. I have no idea how I became a Duke fan.
Me either.
I played college basketball, and maybe that's when they were good in '91, and I was.
But you liked Michigan back then.
Yeah, I was a Fab Five because
that's right. Me too. It's like you and I have the same favorite college football teams for this or basketball teams for the same reason. Right. Like I love Michigan too. The Fab Five was like the greatest thing ever, and I've always been a Duke fan, even though I can't stand Christian Laettner and a few others. Yeah. But for some reason, I have no connection to North Carolina. But I think it was Coach K the whole time.
Yeah, I think it was Coach K, and they just had good teams too. I mean, Christian Laettner shot. So
yeah, I don't like him. Brett. Yep, exactly. That's right. I put that up yesterday.
Sun's out longer Sunday.
Yeah, average ticket price was over $5,000. Yeah, the most expensive was $80,000. So hey, speaking of expensive things, gas.
Okay, get gas.
It's going up and up and up, and I don't really foresee that stopping anytime soon. How does that impact the sheriff's office? I mean, your job is literally, well, not you, but I mean, your deputies, their job is to literally just drive and, do whatever it is that they do. So there's a lot of miles. Do you know about a ballpark? How many total miles deputies in Barron County put on in a year? Are we talking like 200,000, a million?
We trade cars about every 2.5 years. So 2 to 3 years, they get 100,000 miles, and we trade our vehicles, when they get to 100,000 miles. So, they put on 25 to 35,000 miles a year, probably.
25 to 35, you said?
Yeah, I would say
that's lower than I thought, actually.
And it may be a little bit more, but it takes about 2.5 years to get rid of a squad. So, but we stop a lot, and we, and handle a call or, things like that. So,
okay. So now when this goes up, a year ago, we were at 2 250, 260, 275, somewhere in there. And now we're, at about 4. We're hitting that mark in some of our counties. And we will, if the counties haven't now, they will by the end of the week, or it'll likely be. So that's a big increase from, $2.50 to $4. That also, obviously, you got to pay for the gas. How do you budget that stuff in? Or do you have to start cutting things? Like someone has a 911 call, it's like, sorry. I mean, unless you're going to split 50-50 for the gas to get out there, we're not coming.
No, about what is it, 5-6 years ago, it was $4 a gallon too. Maybe it was a little bit longer than that. And
Yeah.
so, it got to be about $4 a gallon. What we've done is left our gas budget alone and not raised or lowered it over the last 5 to 7 years, because then because it fluctuates so much, we leave that line alone.
Sure.
And it's worked out. Sometimes there's excess in there, sometimes we're cutting it close. And this year will be one of those years where we cut it close. So we've always left that line pretty much the same. And just, if we have, like we were under budget again. I've been the sheriff 14 years. We were only on over budget one time in 14 years, and that was the year of the cost case. And that was strictly just based on overtime. We've been under budget every year. We were under budget about $250,000 again this year. Some of that are, a chunk of that is from the gas line. That goes back to the general fund. So it's not so we don't play with that gas line very often. And that's something that's just worked well for Barron County.
Well, I know when I purchase a vehicle, because I can't afford new vehicles, but I've always had used vehicles. But even when I get it, I just pretty much just budget in $200 to $400 for a monthly payment. And like right now, all of our vehicles, or both our vehicles, are paid off. But I continue to put that money, like I normally would, away for. I'm assuming at some point I'm going to want another one and a down payment or something. So I just continue kind of like that. It's just it's a line item in my budget, in our family budget. Whether the vehicle's paid off or not, that's irrelevant. We keep putting that money away. Plus, you never know, a transmission goes out and there's $2,000. Mm-hmm. So that's a good idea. Did you see? I'm sorry.
I think budgeting is going to be very. I saw a neat Facebook post and somebody said something about budgeting and your natural gas and your gas in your car, and just have you're going to have to stick to a little tighter budget maybe for the next. Hopefully, it's not very long. But it's going to be a few months at least.
Yeah, they say it's going to be a rough 6 months, but I mean,
but we've been through a lot worse. And so gas prices is I think minute compared to what we've gone through. But it's going to affect our budgets. It's going to affect people's bottom dollar and pocketbook for the summer, and they'll continue to support small businesses and do things that we do, I think, in this smaller ways. And so,
I don't know. Yeah, Tiffany, I remember, what was it? His name was Ben something. I can't remember. But yeah.
I'm sure
that's right. I forgot all about that.
He probably just doesn't like that, we're not for pro marijuana.
Well, it's not. You were always great. You always answered every question, and honestly and openly, and you were transparent, and you never went against it. Like, no, that's the worst thing. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what happened to him. Gas prices will limit my storm chasing travels this year. Oh, there's your weather guy.
There's my weather guy.
More embarrassing.
We got to get warm weather here, so send some our way.
So I ran an article last. This is the last thing I'd written down. So unless you have something else or other people, I ran Dean Meyer, the executive director for the Badger State Sheriff's Association, sent me a press release last week, Thursday or Friday or something. So I published it right away, and I really didn't read through the whole thing because a lot of times press release do this and just get it posted, and then when I'm finished, I'm going back through and I read it. I'm like, holy cow, this is ridiculous. Somebody gave $1.5 million to support sheriffs. Actually, our headline was anonymous donation received to enhance deputies' safety during high-risk events. We can talk. I want to talk about this more next week and the week after.
Okay.
And there's a couple reasons for that, but that is like one of the greatest stories. I called Dean, and because Dad's friends with him, so I've known him for a while. He was hugely impacted by this. So that meant that there was a survey that was sent out of what kind of needs that our area sheriffs need, the 72 counties. And the people that responded to the survey, 53 of the 72 counties did, some because they didn't need anything. So it wasn't like, I forgot. So they got they sent in, this is what we need, and you did that too. And then this got presented to this anonymous donor, and he basically is signing a check to fulfill the needs for everyone that responded, those 53 counties, to fill their needs of what they needed to keep their deputies safe in these high-risk situations. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I thought that was the coolest story I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, and you'll see more. I'm going to get you a press release probably next week on what we're doing with our money.
Don't give it away.
We're finalizing some details right now. So, and I haven't made the purchase yet, but it's a very unbelievable donation. I mean, it's just money that we can use, and every sheriff got the opportunity. So, we got $20,000. I'll just put that teaser out there.
You can say that, but don't say it's for. So the reason why that, by the way, is next week on Monday I'd send out a question to all of our 6 county sheriffs with how much was it, what are you using it for, and some more information. So we'll run Fitzy yours on Monday, and then on Tuesday we'll just do alphabetical order. Then Burnett, so Tracy Finch on Tuesday, Polk, Rusk, Sawyer, and then finishing it up on Saturday with Washburn. So we'll have one story up each day for 6 days about what you are all doing with this. And then that following Tuesday, it looks like we're going to have Dean Meyer on as a guest on our show, so we can talk more about that actual donation itself. So there's a kind of a process to all of these things, but that was, I mean, I know it's like 20 grand, but 20 grand, holy cow. That's something that the taxpayers don't have to spend, and you get to keep your deputies safer.
Yep. And I think, and like I said, and we haven't finalized ours, so I started the press release to send to you, but I don't have it ready yet because we're finalizing it tomorrow, and so we hope to do there. So I see Kirk Anderson applied. I think his St. Croix Falls basketball team, girls or boys, is made it to the next round or something. What? I believe I read that or saw that. So, I mean, again, that's just excitement for a city, and I think it's just special. I mean, I'm always a half full kind of guy, and it's been overwhelming this year to see some of that action that took place with some of these sports teams. Girls going to state there. See, his girls high school team is going to state. So awesome. That's pretty special for St. Croix Falls. I mean, that's going to be a great ride for them, and just making it there is one thing. And now, hopefully they can win a couple games and bring home the gold. So, yeah.
All right. Do you have any Jody? It was so easy to do. Thank you for saying that. That was very positive. See, Fitzy? Thank you for the donor, and thank you for me. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I don't have anything going on.
No random topics?
No, it's been pretty quiet.
Nice.
So, I just, it was, even during some of that ice and rain over the weekend.
Right.
We didn't have a lot of, obviously it happened in the nighttime, so that works out better. But, we had a couple ambulances going to the gyps on the way to calls. And so, we had people come and help them out, and it was great. But we just make things happen, in these small towns and small villages and in counties like ours and yours. And, we just get things done, and that's what we do together.
Yeah, but not Kirks County.
Yeah.
Not Kirks County, just your county and my. Yeah, that's it. Just Washburn and not Kirk County.
Yeah, you should probably be careful. I think there's probably viewers there. I like full counts. You can call CNN and talk to Ben about that.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
All right, what do you have coming up? Someone had brought up earlier. Don't forget daylight savings. This is Sunday, so spring ahead. I think we lose an hour of sleep. Yep. Oh, don't forget, this is the last month to order your Ben and Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy show shirts. The orders have to be in by April 1st. Just go to our website. It's all over there. Oh, there you go. So you can talk for about an hour on this.
Another hour. Hockey won. We're state champs, baby.
State champs.
Yep.
Fitzy, thanks so much, man.
Appreciate it.
You've been watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. Like Fitzy and I, Professional Exteriors and Interiors believes that it's the little things that make a big difference. With nearly 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business provides quality work both on the outside and the inside of your home or business. For more information, give Brian a call today at 715-520-2271. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, saying thank you, everyone, for all of the positive words and all of the, the chat today and some of the random topics. That was fun. We'll see you right back here next week. Until then, remember, it's the little things that make a big difference. Thank you for watching, and have a blessed day. By the way, Fitzy, dude, check out my eye. This one. It's like swollen and stuff. Did you notice that?
No.
Can you?
No.
Yeah, it's like I got a bump like under my eyelid, and it's just big. And I don't know. Do I go to the doctor for it? I'll just call Mike Schaefer.
Mike Schaefer will know.
He'll just know what to do.
He needs to get his own sound. Dave Wilson's down.
I asked him if he wanted his own sound. He's like, no. And I'm like, I think I want to do it anyway.
I think we're going to have to.
We're going to have to. We'll talk about that one next week.
Hope you're okay.
All right. Thanks, man. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.